So I've just come down here. This is where the pond is, and there's some willows and what the hell was the name of that other tree? It wasn't aspen. I forgot what it was, but it's food for the rabbits. So I thought I'd play around with my Bowie and compare it to the Kissaki, because the Bowie is like 500 grams, almost 600. Kissaki is like 400 grams, and pretty sure the Kissaki chops a lot better, so it's kind of a good comparison, I think, like a regular standard kind of knife compared to a Kissaki. And just do some chopping here and leave something to eat, something for the hares to eat and the rabbits. Well, we don't have rabbits, we just have hares. But if you're wondering, that's a Winchester 1300. All right, guys, there's a couple trees that I was thinking I would chop down here for the video, and I have the Bowie with me. This one, see if we can get some light on it. And I was thinking we would compare this to the Kissaki. So that's this one. Now this is mine. It's been sharpened a lot. It's been used a lot. But I'm just gonna take my rings off so I don't damage the Bowie handle. I'm gonna do a couple chops on the small one on the right, and then we'll see how deep it is, and I'm gonna take the rings off my other hand too. I like to keep the rings on just to show that it's possible to do it with them on, but it took a long time to make this handle, so let's get to it. It's around 550 grams. It's actually a very small blade. It's more like a dagger, but it's a dagger you can chop with. So it has a lot of bite. You shouldn't really chop that much with it, but it actually does the job super well. Not bad. So that was actually quite quick. So this performs like a much bigger knife, and it really is just a dagger, and generally daggers don't chop that well. So I think that was a good control for this knife. The thing with the Bowie is that it really is like a standard size knife. When you take the blade into consideration on that Bowie and you compare it to a lot of like standard military blades, it's pretty much the same like proportions. So I'm gonna chop this same one just to see. So much wobbling here. I didn't get a very good angle on that. That's kind of one of the difficulties. Of working in the woods is that there's actually a lot of these difficult like angles to perform in. So we cleared that one. The bunny rabbits like to eat this, so. All right. This one's rotten. This is nice. All right, so this is the part of the video that might take a little while. Just gonna chop it. All right, let's go. We're almost actually all the way through already. I need to check if I'm still filming. Yeah, only took a couple minutes. I'm not really even holding on to the blade. I got my 2 fingers here. I just start swinging it in there. You can do this too. So that's kind of one of the fun things about this blade design, is that you're really just swinging it. That's a really big eagle over there. You're really just swinging it from the ring point. I don't want to cover the video, but with the blade being so short like this, it's very easy to return the blade into a high position. You don't have the sort of torque, the inertia from a long blade. Again, you know, you gotta remember that this is a very short blade. Blades this long generally not really for chopping through this, and we're almost done. We're almost all the way through here, so I'm gonna go and just right now I'm just holding it without my fingers in there, so it changes throughout the entire process. I mean, we should be able to just knock this down now. Oh, there we go. There we go. It's coming down. Come on, boy. Come on, boy. So that's pretty impressive. It's about this big, the log, you know. And we've been here chatting, doing this for less than 10 minutes. So it's actually quite a short video even. And I didn't lose my breath too much on it. It wasn't like a perfect job. I didn't really, you know, race this. And it's done a pretty good job. I wouldn't do that with my Bowie. It's too fragile. And that's kind of why I made this Kissaki. It's because I was carrying this Bowie around everywhere. in the woods. It's amazing for everything. It's my old, like, everything knife. But then there was moments where I was like, you know, I really don't want to abuse this blade. I'd much rather, you know, be able to hang it up someday and be proud of how beautiful it looks. I mean, I'm sure it can handle a lot of a beating, but this is kitchen knife steel, you know? And it's only a few millimeters thick. This was intended much more as like a meat processing knife. Skinning, gutting, slaughtering, carving, making fires, camp knife. It wasn't really... And of course, in a way, it was sort of designed to be like a dagger that can do all those things, because most daggers you wouldn't be able to chop with it. So it penetrates and it stabs, you know, it's much more lethal than a dagger, this blade. These clip points are extremely lethal. Just penetrates easily 3 or 4 times deeper than a dagger with the same amount of force because of that clip point. But you can see that you know, full steel blade, you know, it's a full steel blade, so you can't really go wrong. Mine has some hockey tape, grip tape on the handle, but I got some with scales, and this is what I wanted mine to be. And so, you know, you can judge me for putting grip tape on the handle, but it's nice and soft, so it's not a representation of handle work that I do. But I will do the same test. Maybe I come back here with one of the next karambits from production that has a like a brass cast handle on it. But you know, I think maybe some of you it was more clear how effective this was for chopping. And you know, again, you got to remember, you got to consider the fact. And I brought the rivet lock bulko out. So this is the rivet lock bulko, and you can see the streamline nature of that rivet lock mechanism. It allows you to have an extremely streamlined profile that really just lets you slip it into your pocket. But anyway, if you look at the height of these two, they're almost identical. So in terms of length, and this particular rivet lock that I've kept for myself because the handle was too short, it's one of the early ones from production. So this is like I sometimes keep those for myself. You can see that, relatively speaking, they're about the same length blade. And you know, and they're, when it comes to the overall length in terms of profile, they're very close to one another. But you would never be able to chop a tree down with this knife without like batoning, and you wouldn't be able to chop. So it takes up roughly the same amount of space in that sense, in terms of length in your pocket or wherever. It's as stealthy. That's basically what I'm saying, is that the two of these are basically as stealthy. We can even, I may have lost, oh no, here it is. So we lock it back in. All right. Slips in very easily. Slips in very easily. So, you know, maybe we go even lower, and you can't really see that it's in that pocket. I mean, yeah, okay, if you're in a restaurant and somebody sees this, they're probably gonna think you have a weapon, but essentially the concealability between these two, and that's why I brought this out here to show, is remarkably similar. But with this one, you know, you can actually chop trees down. You have that option. And so, and you know, I could have done a much better job of this. And you know, this is one of these tasks that if you have gloves, it helps a lot too. So very impressive. I'm very pleased with that. It just hits with authority. So, very impressive. And that's all I really came down here to do today. There's our tree. I could knock some of these branches off just to I hit the fence, but no kinks. ADCR V2 is a pretty decent steel. Not gonna lie. Not gonna lie. Hey dog. That's honey there. Yeah, you know there's sticks here, huh? Pretty smooth, clean cut there. Now granted, this is actually quite a soft type of wood. That's one thing you gotta take into consideration. I don't want to hold any information back, but this type of tree is definitely one of the softer trees too. I think that may have even been quicker than doing it with an axe. We're gonna leave this here as food for the bunny wabbits. And that's the end of this video. Hey honey.